you seen Star Wars?
The next Star Wars movie you're going to see in theaters is The Mandalorian and Grogu, releasing in May of 2026. The movie recently wrapped production last year in 2024, and we've had almost no information and no leaks about it until recently. Kristen Harloff and other reputable sources like Bespin Bulletin have revealed the plot to this new Mando movie, and fans are pretty worried, to say the least. So let's discuss this memberberry of a plot, but please support the channel by leaving a like here or subscribing for more Star Wars content. But here is the full report from Bespin Bulletin. Kristen Harloff has exclusively broke today via his YouTube show that Imbo, the bounty hunter that was previously featured in the Star Wars animated series The Clone Wars, is due to appear in the next live-action Star Wars theatrical release, The Mandalorian and Grogu, and is being voiced by Dave Filoni, who voiced Imbo's animated counterpart. Harloff revealed that Rada the Hutt plays a prominent role in the movie, but that he thinks the movie's playing a similar storyline out as The Clone Wars, where Rada the Hutt was kidnapped as a baby and had to be rescued. Harloff believes that Din Djarin and Grogu are hired to rescue Rada, and on the flip side, Imbo, the main villain of the story, has been hired to kill Rada the Hutt. The details that Harloff has revealed are the ones that I too was told, so I can back up his reporting. Not that he needs it. I'll add that I believe Imbo is hired by the Hutts, possibly the two featured in the Book of Boba Fett. I had heard conflicting things on who hired Din. I was told from one source that it was the Hutts that hired Din, another one told me that it was the New Republic. I don't know which is correct, if either, but Zeb does appear, apparently assist Din Djarin in his quest at some point, which means he could be hired by the Republic. It's speculation. So that is the full report there and the leaked plots and everything. So basically, this is a sequel to the 2008 Clone Wars movie. And I completely understand fans being worried about this plot. Imbo in live action, it does sound cool. It does sound cool. But as a lead villain, it's kind of an odd choice. Rada the Hutt being the plot line of another Star Wars movie was not on my bingo card, but hey, what the hell do I know anymore? It just seems like this is a simple episode of the Mandalorian series, which is both good and bad. The bad is that this seems like a pretty simple and episodic Star Wars movie that sounds like an episode of The Mandalorian and not about a movie of The Mandalorian. The good thing about this plot, though, is that it's simple and it's an episodic format. I mean, this could be a lot of fun. This is what A New Hope was. It started Star Wars, but its plot is pretty simple. These droids carrying plans to destroy the Empire weapon and everything. They get trapped on this desert planet. A boy and a Jedi help these droids rescue the princess from a Death Star with this handsome smuggler, and then they destroy the Death Star at the end. It's simple, but it's iconic. It's fun. It's memorable. This Mandalorian and Grogu movie could be just like A New Hope. Simple, but great. But the difference is, we've had 3 seasons of The Mandalorian. This seems like an odder choice for the movie's plot. You know, we've been dealing with the Empire trying to reclaim the galaxy and the Mandalorians reclaiming Mandalore. This movie focusing on bounty hunters, it sounds great, especially if this was like the launch of a new story. Before a movie that is continuing the story based off of a series that's 3 seasons long so far, this movie isn't following the story or going in the direction that I think a lot of people would have expected. So I guess that means Dave Filoni's Star Wars movie that's about the Mandoverse, I think is the specific verbiage that they use, that's going to tie in more to the Empire, Thrawn, and the Jedi like we all suspected. Does that mean Jon Favreau's Mandalorian and Grogu movie won't touch on any of these things at all? The things we've been building up for 3 seasons? It's odd. My other note with this is that I believe most people going into this movie will probably have seen the Mandalorian series. It's still the biggest Star Wars show on Disney Plus to date, and even though season 3 did get some mixed reviews from fans, it did numbers on pars with seasons 1 and 2. So everyone's going to know who Din Djarin and Grogu is because they've seen the show. But will these casual audience members know Rada the Hutt, Imbo, both from a Clone Wars movie or show that's over 17 years old by the time this movie releases? That's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out. The big issue with a lot of the Dave Filoni Star Wars stories is that you basically need to have seen every single piece of Star Wars to keep up with the story. Ahsoka being a prime example. You will not understand Ahsoka unless you've seen like all 11 Star Wars movies, the Clone Wars and Rebels, and maybe even some other stuff behind the scenes too. I doubt you're going to need to see the Clone Wars movie to follow this movie, The Mandalorian and Grogu. But as a fan, that movie is awful. I mean, that movie is awfully boring. I haven't seen it since I was a kid back in like 2008, and even then I didn't like the movie. So it is an odd choice, and I wonder if Dave Filoni is responsible for this because, you know, he's voicing Imbo. I don't know. I'm just teasing him. But I have a lot of faith in Jon Favreau, and I think a lot of you need to remember that he is writing and directing this movie. Filming is complete, mind you. They have over 1.5 years for post-production. You know how many filmmakers would kill for that? Meaning they can refine and perfect this movie to make it truly work as a Star Wars movie coming next year. Jon Favreau did great work with seasons 1, 2, and Though I didn't think season 3 story was all that great, it was still solid. It was a solid season. It's definitely better than like The Acolyte, Kenobi, or Book of Boba Fett. So I am excited for this movie, but I have to admit, this does take a little steam out of the engine. I really would have never thought back in 2008 that the first animated Star Wars show would start with a movie about Anakin saving Rada the Hutt, and then that 17 years later, that story would continue with the first live-action Star Wars show becoming a movie. 2008 Star Wars Only is just baffled at what is going on right now, almost 17 years later. We live in a very strange time, my friends. But tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think about this leak and this plot line? Do you like it? Do you not? Leave a like to support my channel and subscribe to see the next video. Thanks for watching, everybody, and may the Force be with you always.